Hello everyone and welcome. It's Real Blue TV and I'm back with another video, and of course it's another video of another video game settings for controller players. A lot of people have been coming to me asking, whether it's in my stream or just commenting on some YouTube videos, saying, hey, do you have any settings for Overwatch 2 on PC, specifically for the controller players? And to me, this was kind of weird at first because, you know, I started playing Overwatch back in 2016 when it originally released, but I was playing it on PS4. So I was used to playing Overwatch on a controller. Ever since I swapped to PC, I noticed that there was no controller support for Overwatch. So I had to play with my mouse and keyboard. Now, there were a few times where I plugged in DS4 and then connected a controller using DS4 Windows for Overwatch, but there was no aim assist, it was hectic, and I mainly had to play tanks, right? I felt familiar using the tanks because I was a tank player with a controller, but I knew that it wasn't the best input. So I went on vacation, and when I got back from vacation, I was still playing a solo game, story mode game, so I can kind of take a break from shooters. But then I booted up Overwatch 2, and I eventually was surprised because I always have my controllers plugged in, and when I moved my mouse, I accidentally bumped my controller. It fell on the floor, and when it fell on the floor, I noticed that the menu moved. Obviously, when the analog moved, it went down in the menu, and then the icons for a controller showed up on the screen. I said, wait a minute, they have automatic controller support in Overwatch 2. That is a big improvement for them and a big step forward for a lot of controller players on PC. And they've noticed that there's a lot of people playing on PC with controllers in other games, and now you can do that in Overwatch 2 as well. Haven't really been able to find a lot of streamers who are playing on PC with controllers for the time being, but nonetheless, I was still able to jump into shooting range and then jump into some matches, both casual and comp as well, to figure out what I think are the best settings. And there are two different settings. It depends if you play DPS or if you play support / tank, right? So let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, all of the icons within the game, once you are in a controller, right, are just Xbox icons. It's Xbox controls, right? So knowing that, I'm thinking every time I see that happen, if I have a PlayStation controller plugged in, whether it's my PS4 or my PS5 controller, I automatically know that the game is going to be tailored towards an Xbox type of delay, Xbox type of movement, and all of that. So I have to really go through my head and think, okay, what do I need to do kind of to mimic what I like on an Xbox controller with my PlayStation controller. So also what's really cool about the sensitivity in this game is that if I go up once, it goes up by 10, but if you actually hold the A button, which on PlayStation controllers is X, you can go up by 1. All right, so for the horizontal and vertical sensitivity for DPS players, I've found 20% horizontal and 15% vertical has been best for me when I'm playing things like Cassidy and I need those headshots to be perfect, right? If we go down to the advanced, you want to have your aim smoothing on 100%, your aim ease in. This is something you can change. This is default. It comes with default 40%. I left it there because after I figured this out and I played around with it a little bit, I felt comfortable with it. But I did move it up a little bit at some times, and I moved it down a little bit too, just to see the differences. So you can play around with the aim ease in as well as the aim smoothing, really. But for aim smoothing, I would recommend leaving it at 100%. For all of these, you know, your invert looks, you're going to turn those off. Vibration, turn it off. That ruins your controller, and it takes away, it shortens the lifespan of your controllers. Swap movement and legacy movement, you're going to have those off, obviously. Force keyboard and mouse user interface, this is up to you. I mean, this would confuse some people because you'll look and it'll be like instead of pressing A or X, do whatever else. So it's the keyboard equivalent, so that's up to you. I leave it off because I'm gonna play with a controller. Aim technique, for damages, I would say if you feel like this is too slow but you like the fluidity or the smoothness of the 20% and 15%, then but you still feel like you need a little bit more raw input, I would go with the linear ramp, right? Because the linear ramp, your movement is going to go from 0 to 100. With dual zone, it's kind of like each stick goes up and down within, I don't know, it's hard to explain. There's some games that like show you a little graph, like COD I think does. So if you feel like this is smooth, but you want a little bit more raw input being detected by your actual movements of your thumbs, then go with linear rim. If not, stick with dual zone. It's fine. Now, if you're a tank player, right? And you can change this per hero, by the way. So you could set this up on all your heroes, and then you'll never have to, change it in between matches or change it depending on what you're about to play. If you're a tank player, I'm going to tell you right now, 10-10 is actually very viable, right? You're going to keep all this the same, but you're going to go with 10-10. What I do as a tank, sometimes I go 15-10 if I'm playing tanks like D.Va and other tanks where I need to track with bullets, things like Reinhardt, Zarya. I go 10-10. That's fine with me. But 15-10 is probably the best for the tanks. 20-15 for DPSs, and then for tanks you can go 10-10 or 15-10 depending on what type of tank you're playing. And then also for supports, you can go with either one, because some supports you got to play a little bit more passive, and some supports are actually more damage friendly than the passive version. So yeah, there you go. Let me know what you think about these below. Try to keep this video short for all of you, and let me see those clips of you in Overwatch 2 on controller if you're playing with it.
Oh, hello there. It's Blue. I'm a terrible dancer, so ignore that version of me on the screen and listen to my voice when I say thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and of course, click on another video of mine. I heard you'll like those over there. They're pretty good.